share screen. You guys hear that? Nope, you don't, because I didn't put Muse on. All right, here we go. All right.
Show me your secret. Show me your scars. Give me some of you. Give me some of you. Give me some of you. No one has to know. Give me some of you. Yeah. Give me some of you. Oh, yeah. No one has to know. No one has to know. Give me some of you. Give me some
So that's where I've taken it from last week, fully built out. Just kind of went in like the big, get it as big as you can get at the end there. So now I think the only thing left that I'm doing is like I got to go in and take all the S's and T's out of the vocals. I don't love the vocal treatment so much on some of the BGVs. So like I'm going to spend probably a lot of time in that department right now. But musically, everything's kind of like there. But did anyone want to see anything on what I was doing with the music before I start going into vocals?
Yes, I would like to listen to like sections. For
Yeah.
example, you have some brass sections.
Yep.
I would like to hear them in isolation and even go through all of them. Like Albion, is that like that's a synth, right?
Albion is there's a plugin called Albion One,
Yeah.
and Albion One is orchestral, but it has some really like cinematic synths in there. Um, but then also this might not be Albion because I might have made a different patch and didn't change the name.
Okay.
I'm really bad at that. This actually might be the Prophet plugin. So, but yeah, that's that. Do you want me to start at brass and go backwards, or do you want me to start and go?
Whatever you. I would like to listen to all of them. So
Okay. We'll start at the beginning then. So musically, where I started bringing in synths was here. You have this guitar doing this. So this is kind of like, I was thinking about Jeff Buckley and that song Hallelujah. I was like, oh, I wonder if I can do something that's like guitar plus. Really, one take, don't re-record anything, and then see what happens. So this is just all one go. I put a little galaxy on here. Just kind of warbled it a little bit. So that's happening. And then the piano underneath it. That's nothing crazy. Then this synth starts to come in. And it's just like holding the one, and I think it was one of those Albion synths. This one? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Evo. And it's just one of those things that gets progressively more interesting as you hold on to it. So it was originally something like this, I think. Just a neat sound, you know? I loved it. So I was like, all right, I'll kind of make this. Like, it adds a lot in that moment there. There you go.
Give me some of you. No one has to know.
So that's that. And then this one, this is a Juno plugin I have. Sub bass, and then I swell in usually with these, just so we know what's the next part. Danielle's in the room. All right, what's up, Danielle? How you doing?
Hi, sorry I'm late.
No, you're good. We're just going through part 2 here. I'm breaking down all the instruments.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. And then verse 2, we bring in the drums, everyone's favorite. And so with this kit, what I did was turn down the filter so that it's just the low end of it. So if I turn this filter off, this is what the kick sounds like. So just cutting all that high end out of there. And then with this 2 snares are hitting. If I turn this Mooger Fruger off, got the Mooger Fruger. You always need a Mooger Fruger. Turn that off, they sound like this. Just a little more muffled, so it's not the brightest part of the song. I don't want that to be in verse 2. If it does go bright, I want it to be in the later choruses. So I'll do that to the snare here in verse 2. And that's it for drums right there. And this shaker was from that Shaker Strike 2 Shimmer Strike plugin that I've showed you guys.
Yeah.
and I just bounced in place. So then you got the Juno happening here. So that's that. This synth, let's see what you're doing. Weird stuff.
You can melt down in my warm glow.
And so I like the Prophet, so I bought one, and so I just got this Prophet here that I've been using this week, and made these weird sounds. It's like whales talking. So there's that.
Now, how the when you're doing this,
Mhm.
um, it, it's you have to keep in mind a balance between all these sounds competing with each other. So some of them you can barely hear, but together they make the whole. But I mean, do you keep that while you're? I mean, while you're adding them, I guess you're being cognizant of where they're living in the frequency range, right?
Yep.
To kind of place them
Yeah.
in a way that they don't compete with each other, because all of these, some of them have a lot of low end,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. It's all that, man. You're exactly right. It's just keeping. I don't know how to explain it. Like I know there's a frequent. Oh my god, I can't say that word. Frequency
yeah,
spectrum to look at, and I'm definitely. It's like if my head was in like a bowl and there was water, pouring water, and it's when it gets to the top, my ears are full. That's when I know the song's done. That's the only way I can
oh,
explain it. Like
okay,
everything's filled. The pressure is like tight. We're locked. But I until I start adding all those frequencies, I won't feel it. And I know that's a weird way to put it. That's just how it is for me.
makes sense. No, it makes sense.
But like everything's got a place. So I just wanted one crappy guitar. So I was like, all right, let me do that. And then with her vocals, uh,
I lose myself in your cold winter. You can melt down in my warm glow.
that's without it. So this is without it now. You can hear the difference.
I lose myself in your cold winter. You can melt down in my warm glow.
Like they're buried in that. I mean, look, this one's down to -22.
Yeah,
You know, they're but if I take them away, I notice it, and I'm like, oh crap. So
I lose myself in your cold winter.
it just kind of blends in with her verb a little bit, and it's like this nice world we've created here. Um, so that's kind of how I built that verse, and with that in mind, and then the chorus too. I didn't want to give away the ending of the song, so I didn't want to give away that we're gonna be here at this final climax here. So I got away with it by just putting synths that sounded like um it gave it a little more of a rhythm. So this is that synth that Evo. Or no, that's a synth line actually. And so that's a waves plugin called the one knob pumper, and all it does is just basically a side chain pumping that, and so you can adjust the settings on it. I have it down to a half and then turned way down. And then I kind of did that for a lot of these, most of them probably, two of them, two of them. So those sound like this together. And then this. This gives it a little movement. That bass in there moves it with this. And remember how I was saying earlier in verse 2, I didn't want to give away too much. So if you listen to the difference between these two snares. Then we hit the chorus. That just gives us a little bit of help on that lift that we need. And then obviously a nice swell in here with this. But these synths are kind of doing a lot of work. That's doing something weird. So then we have these acoustic guitars that are also brought in here to drive a little more. So like I left this one so crappy. But it fills up that space just right. I don't know why, but it fills the space of just a crappy sound. Takes up enough low end, but when I move it out, it's like the you can feel the song pulse a lot more when it's gone. Well, again, it's like we're creating that space to go up and down, but then something's still hitting it at the same. So like the bass drops, the guitar goes into it, and it kind of helps keep that movement. So we're not. It's a slow song, like it's real slow. So we got to give it some giddy up.
I'd like to ask a question about the vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that one of the things you wanted to do was take some of the S's and T's out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I'm that I have that skill to really detect or something that would be annoying. I mean, how do you? What's your process to detect that, or is it that there are just like 2 or 3 spots that really you want to get out, or you feel like the whole track has a lot of sibilance?
It's the no one has to know. Whoa, no one has to know.
Now that you pointed it out,
Yeah.
It's like when someone says, "Oh, I just bought a car," and you now notice that
now
in the street.
Yep. So I suspect this is it. It's actually all of this. So I'll usually pull this gain down, or I'll go in one by one and kind of do this until it sounds right. And then I do this.
No one has to know.
Perfect.
No one has to know.
Just at that precise moment.
Yep.
No one has to know. No one has to know.
Something's clashing, and that's what's been bothering me about this song.
Oh.
Like
No one has to know.
This one's coming back. So we could cut this one. Let's try it.
No one has to know. No one has to know. No one has to know.
And then you go hunting. And you slowly lose your mind.
Has to know. Has to know.
Well, what about all those plugins that are out there? Isn't that the de-esser?
Yeah, I got it on there, but wait, I did this.
Has to know. Has to know.
Still gonna have to get it out.
Has to know.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
lot better.
Yeah.
I can hardly. But
Yeah.
anyway, my question was more. I think what I was really trying to get at is how did you get to the level where? Because now the minute that you brought it to my awareness, then now I'm like sensitized to it.
Yeah.
But I think if I was producing this track at the skill level that I have now, it might not have bothered me. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like it's just a harsh frequency. It just hurts.
Yeah.
I think when you're like listening for something to be like, it's like you're putting icing over a cake, and every time you put it over, something just like pops up underneath it. It's like that to me. It's like that won't
Yeah,
lay
yeah,
down. It's
yeah.
not flat. It's not.
Right.
Nothing's cohesive there, and it just sticks out, and I don't. It'll drive me nuts. And usually I'll get to a point where I'll send it to my guy and be like, dude, I can't. You got to do this in the mix, and he'll fix it. But I try to do as much as I can to help him out.
I mean, what I kind of assume for those of us that are learning this to start with is to make sure that you do things like when you have your vocal stacks where you isolate all of your vocal stacks to start, and then if you hear things that are not quite lining up in your stacks, then you go back and
It's a
see
lot of
okay, where it
editing.
is.
Lot of editing, and like that's what I was
That's a
saying.
lot easier to hear than when it's in the big everything, right? So like when you're doing the process, do things like periodically isolate 2 or 3 instruments at a time at most, like kind of thing, or all your vocals only, and then add it back in.
But it's funny because when Johnny played the full production, it really did stick out. I could hear it then.
Yeah, it's
that's what I'm saying. Like for us beginner level people, if you aren't noticing it all on your own stuff already, like that's where to start to find it, to like listen for it.
On the template that we got for vocal stacks from Logan, he is it? I didn't quite understand if when you're doing like the background vocals, if you do one line and then pan it left and right, make them like a pair, or is it that you do a different one on each side?
Yeah, so I'll get this is what I get from vocalists. I get the main.
No one has to know.
Then I get a double left and right.
No one has to know.
That's the same. It's the same line.
Same line, and these are sung about as closely as they can to be to each other. So like these 2 lines playing together are almost identical because they're matching this line.
No one has to know.
That way, it just sounds full in the mix here. I've got it on left and right and in the center.
No one has to know.
take those out.
Oh, no one has to know.
So yeah,
But
you
did she record 3 times,
yeah
Yeah.
Johnny? Okay, so
yeah
she recorded 3 times and then
yeah.
3 different ones.
You
Okay.
go.
You
So you
treat them
go.
differently, different effects on them, or basically keep the doubles and the double and triple, keep them like the same effect.
Yeah, the doubles and triples all have the same effect on them. For some reason, this one I got it doubled here. That's wrong. Um, these are just have compression on them, and then the main vocal. That's where I spent a lot of my time making it sound really nice and clean. But sometimes for these doubles, I'll just put a compressor on them and EQ them a little bit, and like they sound good enough to.
No.
I don't want to spend too much time EQing something that's just there. I will do it, but it's not like the tedious work. I'll just get a preset that works for it, and then the same thing's happening here.
No one has to know.
And she's got her main and then her left and her octave double left and right. Does that answer that for how to do
Yeah.
that? Okay. And yeah, back to like the whole S&T thing. It's just one of those things as you start to do it, the more you start to refine your craft, you start to hear those imperfections, and it's not always something you need to take out. Like you don't always need to take out all the S's. You don't need to take out all the breaths. Like I was just working with an artist the other day, and that was the conversation of like, do we take out some of these breaths or do we keep these ones? Like how intentional are we about the breath in between words? And like you get down to it and you just start talking about that with the artist you're working with, and like how much emotion do you want there to be in it, and and if there is a lot of heavy S's and it's like an angsty song, you do your best to take them out, but at the same time, like they're gonna be there, and but having that knowledge now, like just yeah, be mindful of those things. The plosives, like if you sing into the mic and you hear that or the and it's like that low, like you want to try and get rid of those. There's a bunch of plugins that you can look up for that. You can multi-band it out. RX Connect is great for stuff like that. But again, with vocals, it's a lot of these vocalists are giving me really good tracks. They're giving me doubles. So this is the single, the double, and the triple, and the double over here. So you have all this. And you can see there's only RVox on all of them. It's just one compressor right now. And then they're sent to this bus, which has got a room verb and this vintage verb. So that's that part. Any more questions on that part?
Yeah.
Also,
'Cause
hey,
I'm-
Aaron, what's up, man?
Hey guys.
What was that, Clark?
I'm experimenting with doing doubles on mine right now,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have like I'm getting like some weird phasey issues, and it doesn't sound anything like this. I mean, it's two performances, it's two recordings. I
Yeah.
didn't just double the same recording, but it's still I'm getting a phase thing going on. How do you fix that?
I'd have to see what it is because you have 3 different takes.
Just two actually. I haven't tripled it.
I'm not sure why. Because then that would just be like, what are you doing with the second? Is it just underneath it like this?
Yeah, I've got it. I've got it right next to the lead, and then I put like more reverb on it, and have like brought it down in the mix. But it just doesn't have this like bigger sound. It just sounds like two me's singing the same line and kind of like having a weird sort of interference with each other.
Is it down the middle? Like it's. I was about to point.
Yeah, it is. It's not panned.
Okay, so I've had a couple times where like if you sing it like the exact same way twice, I've had vocalists where I'm like I can't tell if it's double or if like sometimes they'll just sing it. It's like oh that's the same exact thing, and I'll get phase, and so I'll just like mess with it until I don't. And I know it's like a terrible answer, but I'm like all right, I'll try this effect with I'll pan it off and try and get another one. Or what I'll do is this is like if I am getting that phase, I'll go doubler, which is waves, I believe. And then I'll take this direct out, which is taking the middle out of it. Even though this isn't a stereo file, it'll still split it to the sides.
No one has to know. No one has to know.
Like if I would get it so that it could be stereo, and then I would split them to the sides, and it wouldn't be down the middle anymore. So I was kind of like I'm getting my left and right, but they're not going to phase that way. And that's usually my go-to if I only have one vocal to work with.
Okay.
But I'll do that too with like this vocal. So another go-to of mine is like, all right, I'll take this, and I'm going to bounce in place that exact vocal. I'm going to unmute these. So now this is printed the same exact thing. So if I played it like this,
No one has to know.
it's terrible. So I'm going to cut the verb. I'm going to go on my doubler. I want this to be stereo, not double mono. So I'll go doubler, stereo here. Then I can take out the direct, and then now it just sounds like this.
No one has to know.
Still got a little bit of phase on it, so I'll usually take a vocal synth. And this thing is, I think Isotope makes this, but I'll go. I don't want the presets guy here. This for the chorus. This usually sounds pretty cool.
No one has to know. No one has to know.
I probably won't use it for this song, but I'll mess with the settings on there until I get something I like. But that's usually what I do if I just want to have the same track. But you're dealing with two different tracks. So I would just try panning, trying putting a pitch shifter on it, turning it the formant down. I think Waves has a good they got vocal bender.
Johnny, can you explain what phase is? I actually don't know what phase is.
That's a really good question because I know what it sounds like, but I can't give you the science for it. I know it's when the waves just play the same thing, right? They're exact same.
It's the waves and
Cancel
troughs.
each other out.
It's the waves. Yeah, it's the waves and the troughs of the waveform when you've got two like basically identical tracks playing right next to each other. Phasing is what happens when one part of the frequency crests and the other troughs.
They cancel
I think, yeah, they cancel each other out, and you get that weird, like, kind of inverted sound that you're hearing.
It's actually a fun. It's like a math thing because like it's like if you heard sine, cosine, or whatever. If you put them together, or whatever, it gets rid of it. And so it's like if the one is going the one way, and then on the other side it's going the other way, and then they cancel each other out. So that's why even if you do like things without headphones and you're on a call or something, and it's bouncing back, like it can cut out your sound.
Yeah. So that's what it'll sound like this if it's.
No one has to know.
Gotcha. Okay, that
But
makes
yeah,
sense.
we so that what we're trying to solve though is why it's doing it with the vocal that isn't the same exact take. That's weird. I don't know why that would happen. And
I
maybe
did.
their waveforms, maybe your waveforms are so close that that's what's happening. It's like you saying it the exact same way.
That's what I was
And it
going for, was to be as
And
close
it
as
shouldn't
possible.
be. It shouldn't be conflicting if you're in the same spot. Like, it should just make it louder. So
Yeah.
it's odd. Like, it just should happen if you're like on one side and then the other side, that they cancel each other out, like,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So
Johnny, when you do doubles, are you trying to make them different? Are you singing them different or having them sing them different?
Their doubles are the exact same.
Okay.
So
But you are going to usually pan them out differently, right?
yeah, so like these ones right here. Same thing.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of what I was telling you guys earlier about how it feels like these aren't tuned right now and they still sound. But with all this verb and it behind it and you like tuck them enough, it gives it enough of like, oh, it's like real people saying this in a choir with her.
Yeah.
And then this is just piano here when we get to this part.
Give me some of you.
No double. No doubles. We break away from all the guitar stuff and then we come back with this wall of sound. So we'll get now is what sparked the whole question, the brass.
Yeah.
All of that to get to brass. This one, I didn't put any, like normally I would do this. I would go in and draw the modulation, which is the. It's like imagine someone's actually playing it. They're not going to be at full blast for that whole thing. They're gonna breathe. So you want to make the brass breathe a little bit. I didn't do that on this one because I want it to kind of feel like it's just punching you in the face the whole time. And then this one is just a big hit. This is from Albion 3, The Long Nasty. What was that playing?
Strings.
Where did that come from?
Sorry.
Oh. That's really nasty brass from Jaeger Strings, this is a great company. I love these guys. Then this brass full is from Nucleus. What are you doing?
No, actually.
Oh, it's supposed to be the mod wheel is off. It's supposed to be.
Oh, doing like a
Yeah.
uh,
can you explain that mod wheel thing that you just did?
Oh yeah, that's the trigger for this instrument specifically. If you use the mod wheel and push it up, it'll do the tremolo on it.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. So then this Alan, it was you that asked about the brass,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Anything specific you want to hear now that you see
No,
it?
no. I just noticed that what you did, you combined different. You didn't play full chords on any one sound. You just
No.
octaves, but with different textures, so it gives it that full sound.
Yeah. If this was trailer, I'd make chords out of all of the different ones. I'd have these two playing like these two octaves, and then I'd find another two chords to play beneath them or above them in a different library, and I'd kind of build this big wall of sound with that. And that's kind of what I did here. Like this one's going like this. And this one's and then I'll double it with this Prophet is doing the same thing as this brass, so it gives it a little more brassy sound. I feel like just pushing a little more air back there. And then all these drones are doing a lot of. They're just droning, right? You know. I put the one knob on this guitar here too. Bass. All that's happening under here.
What is your secret to being able to hear all of that? Like all of that packed into one spot?
Practice. A lot of practice, man. Like,
and it doesn't sound messy. It sounds like distinct. It's amazing.
It's thank you. I appreciate that. It's a lot of trial and error of just like, okay, I want all my strings to go to this bus, right? I mean, this I'm pointing at my computer like you guys can see it. But this over here is where all the strings are going.
Give me some of you.
So I kind of start with like that and be like, okay, the strings were up here about 2 hours ago.
Has to know.
And then this helps too. So on my bus, I'm going to sidechain this
right
to the vocals. So I'm going to go here, bus. It's going to sidechain to this bus, which has got all of my vocals on there. And then so now if I was to solo, and then I just kind of sweep to see where frequency interferes.
Has to know. No one has has to know. Oh, give me some of you.
So I understand that you did the strings and the vocals together because strings are the most like vocals in terms of actual like frequency stuff like that. But what did you just do with that thing that you just did?
Yeah.
Can you explain side chaining?
Yeah. So what this is going to do is this right here. This EQ is going to trigger this multiband to pull down the frequency that's clashing with the vocals every time those frequencies interact with each other.
Has to know.
Connected with it somehow? Or are you just it's not actually physically connected to it somewhere. It's just that it is because you're playing the two of them.
Has to know. Has to know.
Sorry, I'm trying to get it to.
Has to know.
Why is it? Hold on 1 second.
What's on the bus?
So the bus is all those vocals. If you wanted to do it a different way, you could go to. Oh God, hang on. Where is her main vocal? What's it called? So her main vocal is so greatly. Wait, what is?
Has to know. No one has to know. Oh, give me some of you.
So it's showing both of them just because you're playing both, right? Not because of any other reason.
Not playing both of them.
Has to know. No one has to know.
I'm not gonna lie. It's actually not doing it the way I need it to right now, and it's only pulling down because I have it multi-band or the dynamic pulled down here, so it is taking away those frequencies, but it's not talking to the bus like I need it to, and I'm not sure why it's not. But ideally, you would have this triggering the frequency of your vocals, and it would pull down every time those vocals are hitting it. So if
the side chain is what talks to the vocals and says side chain different than just bus. It's if this frequency comes to this app through the side chain, then this app pulls this frequency out of the strings.
Yep.
So it doesn't. So the vocal gets to live in that frequency, not the strings.
Correct. Yep. It's how it's supposed to be working, but it's not doing that for me for some reason. Right now, it's just pulling the frequencies from the strings and not talking.
Because you have it pulled down manually, or
it's because I clicked. It's supposed to be this button, but it's not doing it.
Has to know. No one has to know.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out why it's not working. But another trick I do use is this center app, which kind of does the same thing. It pulls down the middle frequency and pushes everything kind of to the side. So I'll put that on like the BGVs here. I've got that on it, and if I go BGVs, and I gotta find one where they sing together. Hang on, because they don't really interact except for here.
I lose myself in your cold winter.
So all the BGVs are getting pushed. This vocal right here is getting pushed to this plugin, and it's pushing them to the sides. And so playing the main vocals and the BGVs together sounds like this.
I lose myself in your cold winter.
That cold winter, you can hear they're like spread out, but if I turn this off, you'll hear them on top of each other.
Cold winter, cold winter.
And it gives them a little bit more of a back seat. And that's really what you want to do is a lot of that middle you kind of want to remove, let the vocals sit there. You don't want to scoop it too much. But then, if you look at all these, I've either I think most of these have been pre-EQ'd, but they'll be, some of them are pretty minimal, but if I was to play this through here, I wonder what the middle would look like. Like I would go to most of my sounds and do this. That's where
the vocals
That's where the vocals are gonna live. Yeah.
Wow.
So like her vocals will live here.
Just to know, give me some of you. No one has to know.
Just taking it to the sides. What's this? Yeah, see, this middle is taken out over here, like the low end of the strings. I didn't do much on this one. I think this is probably because it's a little higher. But the lower the frequencies are, the more I'm taking out the middle. And like I said, I've already pre-mixed a lot of these before. Brass, I've actually been experimenting with not taking anything out and just seeing what it sounds like, kind of nasty. And then if I need to, I can EQ it here.
No one has to know. Give me some of you. Give me some of you.
Then, like, Aaron, the thing to think about is like listening to where your vocalist's voice is registered at. Like, where's the register?
Right. Give me some of you.
It's kind of mid. I can turn up a lot of the low end to support that, so there can be a lot more low end stuff, and that's why you hear stuff like this in there. She's also not hitting the high frequencies, so I can sneak this stuff in there.
Right.
It all just sounds from my synth here. The strings really poke over like her voice.
No one has to know.
Just down here, no one has to know. So I can get all the high frequency stuff up there, and you'll hear it. But
Yeah, another thing that I'm noticing is that you're doing so much layering that the individual tracks are not distinguishable, but the whole that they're connected to is distinguishable in the mix.
Yeah, and that's
That makes
kind
a lot
of
of sense.
like this. This is all one big like glop. Yeah. See how important every part of the glop is. It's like,
wow,
you need it all. Otherwise, without it, something sounds weird. It's just a lot of, and then some stuff, it's like, you could get rid of it and you'd be all right. But then I usually get to that point where I'm like, all right, there's too much high end. Maybe I'll take that one and go. that's kind of where it is all like, you'll hear Logan and I say we mix as we go, and that's what we mean is like, every time we're pulling something in, we're doing something weird to it. Like everything's cut off, crazy freaking. I don't even know what I was doing there. Like, well, I don't know why that is. What is this? The same double? Yeah.
And Johnny, so I noticed in your synths you have like a fader at the end. Does that help like the sound so it just like fades out? Because on my song I have like a bunch of synths and they like keep going after the song's done.
Yeah.
Is that why you do the fader? Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the fade out. And then some stuff I'll just have to like volume drop it completely. Like I'll go in and automate the volume to just stop. Because I'll have stuff that like they'll latch and I'll just have to be like, all right, this needs to go.
Okay, so that's normal for that to happen. Okay, that keeps happening to me, so that's good to know.
Yeah. And then with these, so they fade out nicely. There's no like click and pop, but then the decay from the verb that's on them will still ring out, and it sounds nice.
Awesome, that's so helpful.
Yeah, so like I pack a lot of stuff in here, like the drums. This is all the drums up here. These are all samples I found. Kicks and crashes mixed together, booms, timpani rolls. These are from Splice. These are from packs I've bought. And then
are you needing to find those rolls at a BPM, or do they just happen to work out nicely because they're rolls? Or
I think with this one I just kind of rolled the dice and put them in. Sorry, I know I'm such a terrible.
That's good. That's what I was curious about.
It's kind of like, can I make this work? Can I chop it up? This one I didn't have to, and it was fine. But I mean, I even like tuned them. So this is. I have you muted. I tuned that up 4. Originally it was 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. Down 4, I should say. That C needed to go to this. It's that weird in my ear if it didn't. I don't know.
What was the quick thing that you just like the
Oh, to transpose?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you click on one of these and you hold Option and the arrow up or down, it'll move it for you. It transposes.
Okay.
And it's the same thing
so
as
Option.
What?
Up or down?
Option up or down, and then that's the same thing of moving it over here. Like if you click this and pull down this transpose button, but it's just easier to go here.
Oh yeah.
It's the same.
Well, that's why. That's what that's. I like the little hotkey things. I just don't like them a lot, so it makes.
You transpose it because of the key of the song, or just how you hear it?
Both. Yeah, the key of the song is we're in C, but it's going down to 4. I think was what we start. I think this chord progression starts on the 4 in C. So I wanted it to, or no, what is it? Match her voice more than the actual, like, I don't know, because she's saying no, and I know that's like out of scale technically, but it felt right.
Okay. Quick question about the frequency. You were talking about how you introduce instruments that are different registers to complement the vocals.
Yeah.
when you're introducing an instrument where you can dedicate a whole track, then you probably mess around with the EQ, and then you can just set it to that particular level and leave it because it has its own track. Or do you sometimes have a track where you got, let's say, a synth at a particular register, but then towards the end you need the frequency range to go up? Do you ever encounter that, or do you just create a whole new track to make it easy?
Both. It depends on how lazy I am that day.
If you have something where you are changing something, a synth, let's say, that's on a track, and you have a particular frequency EQ for the earlier part of the song, but then later you're going to change it. Do you ever do you have to automate that, or do you?
So, like, here's the example of the lazy way. So this one had the Mooger Fruger on it, these drums. I know it's not synth, but the same principle will apply. So, like, they have the Mooger Fruger here. It's literally the same drum sound. I just created a different track and turned off the Mooger Fruger, which is a filter that makes it darker. So, like, now we're bright again. But what you could do, yes, is just have one track of this. And if you were using EQ, you could automate your EQ. So you would go into, let's say, if you have, I only know how to do it with Pro. Well, I mean, you can do it with any plugin, but I just use Pro Q3. So you go hit A, it opens up this lane, which is this up here. You have your flex mode on or whatever, and then the automation lane. Open that up with A, and then I would go into, well, first. Let me just open a clean one. So I get a clean one. I'd make this notch here, and this right here tells me that this is number 1 right there. So I would go into my automation lane. I would go to Pro Q4. I'm going to go to band 1. I'm going to go to the frequency. And if I open this up right here, you'll see that if I move this, now I can automate it. So if I wanted to, I could do it that way. I could have it, for the whole song. I could automate each part of the synth if I wanted to, let it be hot and open it all the way up for the choruses, and then maybe your verses is kind of halfway like this.
Oh, okay. I've never automated an EQ yet.
Okay, yeah. But there's the word yet. You will. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of this, man.
Sorry, you're saying that you would like turn it more EQ-y in certain spots and then turn it off for other parts?
Yeah, so like this drum right here is basically has this Mooger Fruger, this filter right here is just this.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it's pulling out a lot of that high end, but it's just in a pedal form with a little bit more character to it. So what I could do is I could use this drum could be up here, and it could have this Pro Q4 on it, and I could automate this lane to be more like this, so the drum sounds
right.
And then if I want that to come out in the chorus, be brighter, I'd be like this.
Yeah.
Same thing applies for a synth. Sometimes in the verses you want it to be a little bit darker sounding because you don't want that to be your brightest moment as in the verses. And then you could open up the filter on that chorus and let the synth shine through where it needs to. And you can do that on any instrument. It doesn't have to be the synth. It could be drums, bass, anything.
Johnny, a little bit ago, you were drawing in your modulation automation.
Oh, yeah.
How did you do that?
So let's say it's this one. So you just hit command. It depends on what you have these set to. If I hit command, it goes to the pencil.
Oh, pencil tool.
Tool, and then just command and then draw it in like that.
Yeah, and that's pretty much just automating your mod wheel. Is that right?
Yeah, and the mod wheel is the expression, not the expression. Well,
it depends on the particular one.
Yeah. For the brass, it'd be kind of the blariness of it. I would assume
it's.
Well, because the one was a tremolo thing or whatever, and then you're saying that other ones are not. They're different.
It's gonna
So
be
each one.
It's gonna be your dynamics and expression right here. So like,
right.
This is. So I could make these a little bit more like expressive. You're just controlling the expression and the dynamics of it, like how hard and soft they're playing, and then like the up and down, the rise and fall of it. But
Johnny, I did my first try at like a Reese bass on my song.
Oh yeah, nice.
And Dustin said the sub bass works well. I'd suggest automating the filters a bit though. Take some top end out during the verse. So that's exactly what he's talking about then, right? Is going to that Reese channel or whatever. And then doing that same automation on the EQ.
Yep. So like, let's say this is your Reese. This is 10. That's number 10. So we're gonna go in there.
Okay.
Go to Pro Q3. We're gonna go to band 10.
And you said this works with other EQs as well.
Yeah. Frequency. And then I can look at my frequency here.
Okay.
And open
so
this
during
up.
verse, you said take top end out during verse.
So it looked like this.
Okay. Beautiful.
When someone says take top end out, you guys know what that just means. Like, I don't really want to hear any of that high end past like 5K.
Okay. He said it was take some top end during the verse and then bring it back to normal whenever the drums come back in. This layer should be felt more than heard in this style.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And that's kind of how a lot of my stuff is like it's more felt than heard. And, you know, you don't hear all of this stuff, but you feel
it's almost like you think each group is its own instrument in a sense, like, or an orchestra section. Like, I've got to do something with this instrument, which is 48 instruments for you.
Yeah.
All with decapitator on them or whatever.
Yeah, literally. I mean, because when I bust them out to these agencies, I'm sending all these. So they're getting a stem of just this. So then they can look at and put it in a song and be like, you know what, for this outro, we just want this, this, and this.
Give me some of you. Give me some of you.
So I have to think of it in that sense because like my piano can't suck, because if they want to just take out everything from my track and have just piano there and a vocal,
you can't have it hidden in there and it's garbage.
Yeah, it's got to be a good. So I'll send them like even now.
Except for your guitar, I guess you said. Was okay.
But even then, like that guitar is gonna be
treated.
Yeah, like they'll probably pull like any mix that I've done has been completely torn apart inside a spot on TV.
Okay,
they completely redo it.
You're saying that you give them all the individual tracks, right? Or are you saying that you give them chunks?
Just these?
Okay, and then those are buses of like the different sections.
So this is just all my drums.
Like all your drums, all your. So you just have to have it organized in a way that will make sense. Is basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is that pretty typical of the amount of stems that will go out from your sessions?
Let's see here.
Was that like 10 or something?
It depends. If I have,
that's one way to think of how you think of instrument blocks.
Well, like there's no shorts on this, but I would sometimes have a strings bus that's shorts and longs because there's stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
They don't want the longs in there with that, especially for trailers. So I'll separate that.
Right.
The keyboard, the piano will always get its own, and then the organ will go with pads, and then drums will be separate from big sound effects like big crashes. That's going to be different. Brass is always on its own. The effects, the guitars, the BGVs, and then you usually have to send a acapella, and that's just I'll just
Interesting.
send these two out.
Give me some of you.
Usually instrumental.
What about the effects bus?
Yeah, everything.
Is that like sound effects?
Yeah,
It's sound effects, not.
for
Okay.
this, it's like
Sound.
I'm doing minimal sound effects, but if this was a trailer, there'd be like weird stuff happening.
Chains and
Right. Yeah, the little
all the weird sound
sample
design.
things that you add in there.
Yeah. So everyone's going to be different, and then sometimes you'll get them to they'll ask you, "Hey, can you rebounce these stems with these in it? You know, like a mix minus, something like that."
Oh yeah, and a certain pieces of it for them for a particular.
And then
part.
remind me, this will start with what, your idea, or will the vocalist send you, or you'll get the brief, right? And then you guys start collaborating?
Yeah, so we'll get on a Zoom like this, and it usually starts with, I mean, if it's our first time working together, we'll talk for like an hour before we ever jump into it, just kind of figure out what kind of music you into, kind of see if it's a good vibe 1st. And it's like, all right, what kind of music you want? And sometimes it's like, hey, I really have this specific brief we need to work on. Your label wants it, my label wants it, and then we'll go and be like, all right, it's just kind of like, go do your job, And then other times it'll be, it's our 5th or 6th song together, and it's like, dude, what do you want to do? It's like, I'm tired of making this track. I'm tired of making that. It's like, all right, then let's just do this. And it runs the gambit. So
yeah,
some of them are like, hey, let's do more artist songs, and they want to actually have an artist. So it depends. It all depends on whose idea comes first. It's like, I will say this: I never walk into a write session without an idea. I never walk in empty-handed. I always have something to offer, and that could be like, hey, this is a really dumb hook on my phone. It's just my guitar and my voice, or this is just a dumb chord progression, or hey, this is a cool synth sound I found, and I don't have anything more than these 4 chords. Does it make you feel anything? And like, I got to bring something to the table. Okay. Yeah, we went long. Dang, we went long tonight. The next time, do you guys like these? You want me to keep doing these? Because I can break down.
Yeah,
things.
This is great.
On your stems, what does AGs mean?
Acoustic guitars.
Oh, okay, because you got guitars, so I guess those are electric.
Yeah, these are electrics. These are acoustics. Brass, vocal bus, string bus, pads and drums, but bass bus, drum bus, and then your piano. So this is usually about the average. And then a TV mix is one that you usually have to do. Like this one, I'll need a TV mix. A TV mix there's 2 types of TV mixes. There's the TV mix that's just oohs and ahs, no words. So like this has a lot of oohs and ahs. So I would go through and mute any words that were said and print it so it's just the whole song with oohs and ahs. That's called a TV mix for in-show. Then there's a TV mix for like if you're playing live as a band on TV, you send just the BGVs and no main vocals, so everyone can sing along to it, and then but the main vocal is gone because the singer will be singing that. So there's different, and I didn't know that. Like when I first agency that asked me for a TV mix, I was like, what is the TV mix? I thought these are all on TV. Like, what do you mean? So yeah. That's funny. But they're like, oh yeah, it's just no, and that's when I learned there's multiples. I was like, okay, cool. So, but sick. If you guys like this, I got tons of these. I mean, I think maybe next time I'll do this other one that's a little more like swagger rock. If the show airs, this song would be in it, so I think it'd be cool. It's we just got a request for that show, see, the Wives of Mormon Wives or whatever that show is.
I haven't watched it, but I've heard of it.
So one of our songs is going to be in there. So maybe we'll break that one down next. It'll be fun.
Nice.
What's the longest your song is played on a show? Like as far as like 30 seconds, a whole minute, like what?
Gray's was about near the whole song. That was a nice 2.5 minute spot. That was nice. I think one of them played the whole entire song. It was the end credit song, so it just played the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was on Amazon. We Were Liars, that show. It was funny. That was the first big placement I got, and I went to go watch it, and we watched the whole episode, and then it gets to the end credits, and it's Amazon, so it just puts it in the letterbox and shows you what's coming and mutes it. And I'm like,
are you kidding me?
I still have no idea what it sounds like in the show. I'm like, I'm not rewatching.
It's like Monsters Inc. when his face is covered on the magazine.
I'm like, whatever. So, and then sometimes I'll watch them, and my wife and I'll watch them if they're on like a trashy TV show. She's like, "This is so terrible," but I'm proud of you. I'm like, I know, it's terrible.